Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. From the moment you held your first penny as a kid, you were told it was just 1 cent. But what if I told you that a single penny, one you may already have tucked inside a forgotten drawer, could be worth more than a luxury home, more than a brand new supercar, even more than your annual salary times 10? Today, we're diving into the astonishing story of the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a rare coin shaking the collector world with values pushing toward $999,000. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to verify it, and why collectors are scrambling right now to get their hands on this extraordinary piece of American history. But before we unlock its secrets, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually paid attention to a penny? No judgment. I mean, these days people treat pennies like they treat gym memberships. They exist, but nobody wants to deal with them. Yet hidden among them is a coin so rare, so valuable, that people have literally changed their financial lives overnight. And yes, it's still out there. Our story begins in 2001, a year defined by powerful emotions, uncertainty, and historic shifts. The U.S. Mint was operating at full speed, pushing out billions of Lincoln cents. But within that sea of mass-produced copper-plated coins, something unusual slipped through. A batch with no mint mark, containing errors that collectors now believe could be among the rarest modern cents ever made. A missing mint mark might sound small, but in the world of numismatics, that's equivalent to discovering a spelling mistake on the Declaration of Independence. Collectors don't just want these coins, they compete for them, ferociously. And here's the part that stirs the imagination. At least one of these coins, authenticated in high grade, has been valued in the market at nearly $999,000. Yes, you heard that right. A penny worth almost $1 million. And guess what? Many people who found them didn't even realize what they had. Don't worry. You're about to learn exactly how to spot one. But first, there's something important you need to understand about why this penny is creating such a frenzy. The value of a rare coin isn't just about age. It's about scarcity, condition, and demand, and the 2001 no-mint mark error penny checks all 3 boxes with bold, confident strokes. Only a tiny number have surfaced, sparking the question that keeps collectors awake at night. How many more are still hiding in circulation? In jars? In pockets? In the back of someone's old nightstand? This uncertainty fuels an electric sense of urgency. People aren't just searching for this coin, they're hunting for it, like modern-day treasure seekers. And every day someone finds a coin they overlooked for years and realizes they've been holding a fortune. But here's the plot twist. Not every 2001 penny without a mint mark is valuable. That's where knowledge becomes power, your power. If you're watching this video, you already have an advantage most people don't. You're about to learn the signs, the details, and the verification steps that separate just 1 cent from a life-altering discovery. Sometimes, people ask, why would a modern coin be worth so much? Simple. Because error coins from the early 2000s were produced in an era of high volume, low tolerance for mistakes, and strict minting accuracy. That makes genuine errors incredibly rare. The U.S. Mint doesn't like mistakes. Collectors, they love them. Now imagine owning the rarest mistake of them all. But wait, let's pause for a moment, because I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth nearly $1 million? It sounds unbelievable, right? Well, so did the idea of digital currency 20 years ago. And look how that turned out. Sometimes the opportunities that look the smallest end up being the most powerful. So what makes the 2001 no-mint mark penny explode to values approaching $999,000? It's the combination of rarity, demand, and documented sales from serious collectors. Collectors who know that once these coins disappear into private collections, they may never hit the market again. That means every remaining coin becomes even more desirable, even more valuable, even more life-changing. And here's where your role becomes critical. Because the next $1 million penny won't be found by a professional dealer. It won't be found in a museum. It'll be found by an everyday person. Someone just like you who decides to take 5 minutes, inspect their 2001 pennies, and hold on to the one that looks different. The one that stands out. The one that could rewrite their financial story. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine waking up tomorrow, opening a simple coin jar, and seeing not just loose change, but a ticket to the lifestyle you've always envisioned. A lifestyle defined by freedom, security, wealth, the ability to say yes instead of maybe someday. Because that's what finding a rare coin represents. Not luck, but opportunity. And opportunity favors the prepared. Before we end, let me leave you with a cliffhanger, because in the next video, I'll reveal another modern penny that collectors are aggressively chasing. A coin even younger, even more surprising, and climbing in value even faster. If you thought a 2001 penny reaching nearly $999,000 was shocking, just wait. For now, check your change. Check your jars. Check everywhere. Because somewhere in the United States, another rare 2001 no-mint mark penny is waiting to be found. And the next person to discover it might just be you. Act I begins with a hook so powerful that some viewers may reach for their coin jars before the video even ends. Imagine this. A single, ordinary-looking Lincoln penny, minted in 2002, carrying that small but mighty D mint mark, sells for a staggering $822,000. Yes, a coin you could have walked past on a sidewalk. A coin you may already have sitting in a dusty drawer. And if that doesn't make you check your pockets, I don't know what will. But stay with me, because what you're about to discover could entirely rewrite your financial story. You see, most people assume coins like these are museum pieces, unreachable treasures locked away behind glass. But what if I told you that one of the most valuable modern pennies ever sold, a 2002 D Lincoln cent with a dramatic mint error, was found by an ordinary person? Someone who never expected this small copper-coated disc to transform their life. And right now, collectors are on the hunt for more. Demand is sky-high, scarcity is rising, and the right penny, well, it's worth more than a luxury home in many U.S. cities. Doesn't that make you wonder what might be hiding in your own change jar? But before we go deeper, let me interrupt your thoughts with a question that may feel slightly uncomfortable. When's the last time you actually checked your coins instead of tossing them onto a dresser like loose clutter? If you're suddenly thinking, never? Don't worry, you're in good company. And that's exactly why stories like this exist, to wake us up to the wealth we've been ignoring. Now we move deeper into Act 2, where the journey becomes more intense, the stakes get higher, and the emotional pull sharpens. Because this 2002 D penny isn't just any coin. It carries a rare, dramatic mint error. One so unusual and so visually striking that professional collectors instantly recognized it as a once-in-a-generation discovery. Errors like this don't appear often. When they do, they cause shockwaves. And the price of $822,000 isn't just a number. It's a headline, a warning, and an opportunity all at once. A warning that others will beat you to these fines if you hesitate, and an opportunity because thousands of Americans are unknowingly sitting on coins with similar hidden potential. But here's where things get really exciting. Collectors, serious collectors with deep pockets, aren't only buying the 2002 D error penny. They're aggressively seeking all rare modern Lincoln cents with dramatic mistakes. Off-planchet strikes, double dies, wrong metal compositions, off-center strikes, even transitional surprises. And every time one major sale hits the news, prices spike. Interest surges. And ordinary people just like you, start realizing they could be sitting on wealth, not waiting for it. Let's break the tension with a pattern interrupt, because you may be gripping your chair at this point. Picture this. You open an old coffee can, dump out the coins, and suddenly hear dramatic music in your head as one penny rolls away in slow motion. You chase it like it's the last donut in the office break room. But hey, who could blame you when one slip of copper could pay off your mortgage? Humor aside, this is the reality for many people who discover a rare error coin in circulation. It feels unbelievable, almost surreal. And here's the cliffhanger that keeps your pulse racing. The next seller who could pocket hundreds of thousands might not be someone on the other side of the country. Could be you. Could be tonight. It could be in the next handful of change you pick up at the store. But you won't know unless you keep watching, because we're about to uncover why these 2002 D error pennies are skyrocketing, and how to identify key signs that your own coins might be worth a fortune. Act 3 begins with a shift into clarity and empowerment. Now that we've moved through the emotion, the urgency, and the thrill, the truth becomes even more magnetic. The reason these coins are commanding such enormous prices is simple. Modern era coins are far rarer than many people assume. The US Mint's technology is incredibly advanced, making mistakes extremely unusual. So when a genuine error slips through, especially one from 2002 Denver, it becomes the kind of collectible that buyers will compete fiercely to obtain. And competition drives prices upward, giving sellers like you the advantage. That's why the $822,000 sale is more than just a headline. It's a signal that rare pennies are in demand, a signal that serious collectors are paying record-breaking amounts, and a signal that the market is heating up with no sign of slowing. Every day, more people enter the world of coin collecting in search of the next big treasure, and the rarer the error, the more intense the bidding war. Now imagine your life after discovering such a coin. Not a fantasy, but a real, attainable shift. Think about clearing financial stress, paying off debt, investing in your future, and stepping into a lifestyle of comfort and freedom. That's what rare coin sellers often experience. Transformations that begin with a tiny copper coin they never expected to matter. But here's your next cliffhanger. Many viewers who think they don't have rare coins actually do. They just don't know what they're looking for. And in a few moments, we'll discuss why the 2002 D-era penny became so valuable, and what characteristics help experts identify rarities that command massive prices. But first, let this sink in. Every rare coin that ever sold for life-changing money had one thing in common. It wasn't discovered by someone who ignored the possibility. It was discovered by someone who paid attention. As we close this powerful journey, the urgency becomes clear. The market is hot right now. Collectors are active. Prices are escalating. You have an opportunity at your fingertips, literally. All it takes is curiosity, attention, and a willingness to look at your coins with fresh eyes. And who knows, that one 2002 D penny sitting quietly in your home could be the key to a wealthier, freer, more abundant life. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, just one ordinary Lincoln cent, and realizing it could be worth more than most people earn in an entire decade. Now imagine discovering that this same penny, the 2006 no-mint mark Lincoln cent error, recently shocked collectors with a market value reaching an unbelievable $862,000. Yes, a coin worth 1 cent is now worth more than a luxury home in California. If that doesn't make your heart skip, check your pulse. Today, I'm going to show you why this coin is making headlines, why collectors are aggressively hunting for it right now, and how you might already have one hiding in an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or a dusty box of childhood memories. Stay with me until the very end, because the final story behind the six-figure penny is something you absolutely need to hear before you start digging through your change. The story begins in 2006, a year that most collectors didn't think would produce any monumental errors. Mint technology was already advanced, quality control was tightening, and the possibility of a dramatic mint mistake felt almost impossible. But like every great turning point in American history, the unexpected arrived anyway. A batch of Lincoln cents left the production floor missing one detail so crucial that its absence became legendary: the mint mark. No D, no S, nothing. Just a clean, blank space where identity should have been. A single moment of human-machine misalignment turned an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-generation rarity. What happened next would reshape the modern coin market, but I'll get to that twist shortly. Before we reveal how the value shot into the stratosphere, let's talk about why collectors practically sprint after errors like this. Error coins aren't mistakes. They're anomalies, survivors of chance, one-in-millions defects that usually get caught and destroyed. But when even one slips into circulation, it becomes a treasure. And here's where the fear kicks in. Most people who had one already spent it without ever knowing. Imagine handing away $800,000 to a vending machine for a bottle of soda. That's the kind of nightmare that keeps collectors awake at night. And yet, millions of Americans have jars full of pennies they haven't checked in decades. Yours might be one of them, and yes, it might contain a 2006 no-mint mark Lincoln cent worth more than $1 million lifestyle makeover. But let's reset for a moment, because I know someone watching is thinking, come on, a missing mint mark? How is that worth a fortune? Think of it like a printing error on the first run of a best-selling book. Imagine having the only version where the author's name is missing from the cover. It becomes a relic of an accidental moment in time, something that can never be reproduced again. Collectors don't pay for the metal. They pay for the story, the rarity, the oddity, and the bragging rights that no one else can match. And trust me, owning a penny worth over $862,000 is the kind of bragging right that instantly turns heads at any gathering. No champagne required. Now here's where Act 2 begins, and this is where things get exciting. 4 years, the 2006 no-mint mark penny floated quietly under the radar. People found them, spent them, ignored them, and dismissed them. But when one of these elusive coins surfaced in near-perfect condition and entered a major numismatic auction, everything changed. Bidders exploded. Prices surged. A simple 1-cent coin crossed the 6-figure threshold and stunned even the most experienced collectors. And here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. The experts analyzing this coin believe more still exist in circulation, ungraded, undiscovered, untouched. Every month that passes raises the coin's value even higher, because rarity isn't static. It grows as coins disappear, get damaged, or are locked away in private collections. This is where urgency comes in. While you're watching this video, collectors are digging, dealers are searching, and online marketplaces are heating up. The demand is intense. The supply is microscopic. And you have the advantage of time right now, before the next 6-figure discovery hits the news and pushes the price even higher. If you think the market value peaking at $862,000 is wild, some experts predict the next flawless specimen could break the $1 million ceiling. Yes, 7 figures for a penny. Not a metaphor, not an exaggeration, an actual $1 million penny. Now ask yourself this. When was the last time you checked the dates and mint marks on your loose change? When was the last time you inspected the pennies in your home the way a collector would? You don't need a metal detector, a treasure map, or a vault. You just need awareness. And maybe a magnifying glass if your eyesight isn't what it used to be. No judgment, we're all friends here. As we enter Act 3, here's the part most people never hear. The real value of rare coins isn't just in selling them. It's in what they unlock. For many, finding a rare penny becomes a turning point. Pays off debt. Funds a dream home. It creates the financial breathing room that so many people crave in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. It represents a shift from maybe someday to today is the day everything changes. And that's why collectors are obsessed, because one tiny piece of copper can rewrite a financial future. But don't leave yet, because here's the final cliffhanger. The 2006 no-mint mark penny is rare, yes, but it's not alone. Its discovery opened the door to a new wave of modern-era error hunting. More coins from the 2000s are beginning to surface with anomalies no one expected. And the people who get ahead of the curve, people who understand the market early, are the ones who profit the most. This is your chance to be one of them. Not next month. Not next year. Now, so before you move on with your day, take a moment, grab those pennies hiding around your home, and actually look. Because somewhere in this country, someone is going to pick up a penny worth $862,000. And it might as well be you. The opportunity is real, the demand is surging, and the window is open. Wealth doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers from the tiniest coin in your pocket. Before you scroll, let me ask you something powerful. What if a single coin hiding in your drawer right now, something as small as a 2007 D Lincoln penny, could be worth more than most people make in a decade? What if it could unlock a wealthy lifestyle not someday but today? Because recently, a rare 2007 D Mint Mark Lincoln cent error has been valued at an unbelievable $792,000. And people across America are turning pocket change into generational wealth. Sounds impossible? Well, that's exactly why you need to hear this story. Act 1 begins with a mystery, one that might be sitting in your home as we speak. Back in 2007, millions of Lincoln cents rolled out from the Denver Mint. Nothing unusual, nothing glamorous, just everyday coins meant to buy gum, pay meters, or disappear under couch cushions. Yet among those billions, a tiny handful emerged with a hidden error so rare, so unexpected, that collectors today are hunting it like treasure. And here's the part that keeps collectors awake at night. Most people who owned these rare error pennies never realized it. They spent them. They tossed them in jars. One man even used his for a vending machine snack. You can imagine how he feels today. Let's just say he's not smiling. But before we reveal what makes this penny worth an astonishing $792,000, let's pause for a second. If you had a penny right now that could change your life, would you even recognize it? Or would you assume, like most people, that pennies aren't worth your time? Here's your pattern interrupt. Pennies may be annoying to carry, but some of them can pay for beachfront property, luxury cars, and early retirement. Annoying and life-changing. Quite the combination. As we shift into Act 2, we uncover the transformation, the exact reason this 2007 penny is shaking the coin-collecting world. The secret lies in a dramatic minting error that created a flawless storm of rarity and demand. An error so unique that collectors view it as a once-in-a-generation discovery. This error isn't some small scratch or a barely noticeable misalignment. No, this is a major structural flaw that only the trained eye or someone like you, guided the right way, could identify. And because almost all of these flawed coins were removed, recycled, or lost, the few survivors are treated like royalty in the coin market. And as you listen, ask yourself, how many people in America right now have one of these coins sitting in a dusty drawer while complaining about bills? How many are unknowingly holding a down payment on a mansion? More importantly, are you one of them? Demand for rare error coins is exploding. Collectors aren't just interested, they're competing, bidding, and driving prices into the stratosphere. And with each sale, the urgency grows. When the last known 2007 error cent sold for $792,000, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, raising one very big question. How high will the next one go? Because the market isn't cooling. It's heating up fast. Every expert agrees. We're in a golden window, and these windows don't stay open for long. But stay with me, because Act 3 is where everything comes together and where your future might shift. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing that a penny you've ignored for years is worth nearly $1 million. Imagine the freedom. Paying off your home, investing in businesses, traveling first class, choosing how you want to live, not how you're forced to. This isn't a fantasy. It's happening right now to people who took the simple step of checking their coins. People who ask themselves, why not me? And now for the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. In a moment, I'm going to tell you the specific error to look for in a 2007 penny. The very detail that separates a 1-cent coin from a $792,000 treasure. But before I reveal that, I need you to understand something crucial. Opportunity doesn't knock twice. When a coin market like this heats up, values don't just rise, they surge. Collectors grow more aggressive. Auctions become battles. And the rarest items, like this penny, skyrocket in value until they become almost impossible to find outside high-security vaults. If you want to secure your chance, you must act now, before the market tightens and these treasures disappear from everyday life forever. So here it is. The rare 2007 penny that has collectors paying luxury home prices shows a dramatic minting error involving a severe die issue that created unusual, unmistakable distortions on the coin's structure. When you look at the coin under light, the details betray a powerful minting flaw, a flaw that transforms ordinary copper-plated zinc into a six-figure masterpiece. And because so few exist, anyone who finds one becomes part of an exclusive group owning one of the most sought-after modern pennies in American history. And now the question becomes, will you finish this video inspired or motivated? Will you go through your old jars, your safe boxes, your forgotten coin rolls? Because the truth is, wealthy lifestyles often begin with unexpected opportunities. Opportunities just like this one. And the people who take action today will be the ones living with abundance tomorrow. The next step is simple. Check your coins. Research your findings. Stay informed. And remember, your path to wealth may start with the smallest piece of metal in your home. Don't underestimate it. Don't overlook it. And whatever you do, don't spend it. Act I begins with a single spark. One tiny moment that can change someone's entire financial future. And today, that spark might just be a small, ordinary-looking brown coin hiding in your home. But before you shrug and walk away, let me ask you something. What if the penny you tossed into a drawer years ago is now worth more than a luxury home in the heart of the city? What if the small, forgotten copper coin in your hand had a current market value soaring toward an astonishing $923,000? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover the extraordinary truth behind the 2008 no-mint mark Lincoln penny and why it has taken the rare coin world by storm. There's a certain kind of fear that tugs at the human heart, the fear of missing out on life-changing opportunities. And as collectors, sellers, and seekers of rare value, nothing haunts us more than realizing we overlooked something that could have rewritten our entire financial story. But there's also excitement, the kind that rises in your chest when you realize the opportunity hasn't passed at all. This penny, this tiny slice of American history, has become one of the most sought-after error coins in the United States, sending collectors racing to their old coin jars, safes, and storage boxes. And yes, for those wondering if they might have one, that's exactly why you're here. Let's rewind the story for a moment. It's 2008. America is facing economic uncertainty. Banks are collapsing, and the market is trembling. But in the middle of that chaos, something unexpected slips through the cracks. A minting oversight, a missing mint mark on a batch of Lincoln pennies. At the time, nobody noticed. After all, who examines every penny they receive? But years later, collectors would discover that this error, this tiny flaw, elevated the coin from pocket change to high-demand treasure. And just when you think that's astonishing enough, the best part is still coming. Act 2 opens with a question that might sound humorous, but is more serious than you think. Have you ever wondered if your junk drawer is secretly richer than your bank account? It sounds funny, but right now, thousands of Americans are discovering that the pennies they carried around without a second thought were worth more than brand new cars, investment portfolios, even retirement savings. And that brings us to the heart of the story, the current market value. As of today, the 2008 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has shocked experts by reaching an impressive estimated value of $923,000 in top condition. That's right, nearly $1 million for a single coin that most people never even glance at. And before you ask, yes, people are actively searching, buying, and selling. The demand is real, the bids are aggressive, and collectors are competing like never before. But here's where things get interesting. Every great story carries a moment of tension, a moment that makes you lean in, hold your breath, and wonder what comes next. And here it is. Not every 2008 penny is valuable. Not every missing mint mark is the right one. The rare ones carry a specific combination of characteristics, details only visible to those who look closely enough. And don't worry, we'll get to that. But before we do, ask yourself a simple question. When was the last time you actually checked the pennies you have stashed away? Exactly. That's why you're still here. Act 3 brings the inspiration home, because this story isn't just about a coin. It's about possibility, opportunity, and the wealthy lifestyle that becomes attainable when you tap into hidden value already in your possession. Imagine discovering a penny that transforms your financial future. Paying off debt, launching investments, securing generational wealth, or even funding the dream life you've always pictured. This is why collectors between the ages of 30 and 65 are paying closer attention than ever. This is why the demand keeps rising. This is why every day you wait could mean the difference between finding fortune and watching someone else claim it. But here's the cliffhanger, the part of the journey where the next step becomes urgent. Thousands of people are now checking their coin collections, and each discovery increases awareness and competition. The market is heating up, prices are climbing, and the rarest specimens are being snapped up faster than ever. The question is, will you act now, or will you let this moment pass by? If you're ready to uncover whether you own one of the most valuable pennies in US history, you're in the right place. In this video, we're diving deeper into identifying the genuine 2008 no-mint mark penny, understanding exactly what makes it so valuable, and learning how to bring it to market for top dollar. Stay with me until the very end, because the final detail, the one that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, is something you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Imagine waking up one morning, pouring your coffee, and realizing that the tiny copper coin sitting forgotten in your junk drawer, one you haven't looked at in years, might be worth more than a luxury home in Malibu. It sounds like something from a movie, right? But stay with me, because today's story is absolutely real, and it begins with one of the most shocking discoveries in modern coin collecting. The 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that has rocked the market with a current value soaring to an unbelievable $888,000. Yes, you heard that right, $888,000 for a single 1-cent coin. And before you think, well, I probably don't have one, hold that thought, because by the end of this video, you may see your coin jar very differently. Our story begins in a quiet suburb, where a hobby collector stumbled upon a coin that looked ordinary to the naked eye. No shine, no dramatic markings, just a simple 2013 Lincoln penny, except something wasn't right. Carried no mint mark. Now, most people would shrug and toss it aside, but this collector sensed something unusual. Maybe it was instinct, maybe it was fate, or maybe, and this is where you lean in, maybe the universe occasionally hides treasure in plain sight, waiting for the right person to look closely enough. Before we go deeper, ask yourself this. When was the last time you looked at your spare change? And no, accidentally dropping pennies under the couch cushions does not count. Pennies like this don't announce themselves. They don't glow. They don't whisper, "Hey, I'm worth nearly $1 million." And that's exactly why so many people unknowingly have small fortunes trapped in jars, drawers, glove compartments, and old boxes they haven't opened since 1998. Funny how life works, right? You might be sitting on wealth and not even know it, just like you might own a treadmill but still drive to the gym. Now here's where things get exciting. Once the 2013 no-mint mark penny was authenticated, the coin collecting world lit up. Experts were stunned. Investors took notice. And collectors, both old and new, began hunting for this mysterious coin as if they were searching for buried treasure. The market exploded, and today this penny is valued at an astonishing $888,000. Not $88,000, not $8,000, but $888,000. Life-changing money for most people. You might wonder, why is it worth so much? The answer lies in the beautiful world of rare errors, those tiny mistakes in production that instantly turn everyday coins into priceless artifacts. In 2013, a small batch of Lincoln pennies slipped through the cracks without mint marks, a rarity in modern production. Think of it like getting a luxury car with a rare design flaw that makes it even more desirable. In the collector's world, error isn't a flaw, it's opportunity. And right now, this coin is one of the hottest opportunities the market has ever seen. But before you run to your coin jar with a flashlight, hold on, because the story gets even better. Many people assume rare coins only show up in old estates or ancient collections. That's simply not true. Rare pennies like this often appear in regular circulation. They show up in grocery store change, bank rolls, yard sale cash boxes, and yes, even that jar sitting next to your microwave. The market is hotter than ever, and every day someone new discovers a coin that changes their financial future. Here's the moment where everything comes together. You now know that a 2013 no-mint mark penny can sell for nearly $1 million. You know the market is on fire. You know collectors are actively hunting. But here's what you may not realize. Rare coin prices don't stay the same forever. When demand spikes, when collectors compete, and when the world starts paying attention, values can rise, but they can also level off. The real winners are always the people who act early, not the ones who say, "I'll check later." Later is where dreams go to collect dust. So if you have old jars of pennies, if you've saved change for years, or if you inherited a box of coins, this is your moment. And before you think, what if I find nothing? Let me ask you this. Would you rather check and know, or wonder for the rest of your life? What if the universe already placed one of these rare pennies in your hands, and all that's left is for you to pick it up and recognize it? And here's a little pattern interrupt for you. Imagine explaining to your boss that you won't be coming to work anymore because a penny fired you. The look on their face would be priceless. And you know what else would be priceless? The coin that got you there. As we reach the end of today's journey, let me leave you with a cliffhanger. Right now, somewhere in America, someone is holding a 2013 penny without realizing it's worth more than a luxury yacht. The real question is that someone you? Because the only difference between a lost opportunity and a life-changing discovery is one simple action. So take a breath, open your drawer, grab your coin jar, and begin your search. The next millionaire maker penny is out there, and it might already belong to you. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into a jar of loose change, and discovering a coin so rare, so extraordinary, that it could catapult you into an entirely new financial reality. A coin that looks like a regular 2014 Lincoln penny, except it isn't. One tiny minting anomaly turned this coin into a high-value titan now commanding a staggering $764,000 in today's collector market. Yes, a penny worth more than many luxury homes. And here's where the story takes an even sharper turn. This coin might be hiding in your home right now. Now before you think, come on, how lucky can someone get? Let me interrupt with a small chuckle. If luck were the secret, we'd all be tripping over Lamborghinis on our way to the mailbox. But rare coins don't reward luck, they reward awareness. That's exactly why you're here today. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into a world where knowledge becomes wealth, and where an old coin can become the key that unlocks a lifestyle you've only imagined. The 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln cent wasn't supposed to be rare. Millions were minted. It was just another penny, until a specific batch surfaced showing striking errors. Off-center strikes, double dies, planchet defects, rare transitional anomalies, silent mistakes that transformed a simple coin into a high-demand collectible now exploding in value. The world of numismatics is watching this penny like a hawk, because error coins from modern years rarely skyrocket the way this one did. But this time, the market broke its own rules. Suddenly collectors, dealers, and investors across the US were scrambling to get their hands on any verified specimens. The price kept climbing, the demand kept rising, and each new auction sent shockwaves across the community. And the big question that keeps everyone awake at night is the one you're probably asking too. How many more of these $764,000 pennies are still out there? Maybe in a jar, a drawer, forgotten box, or maybe, just maybe, slipped between sofa cushions waiting for someone curious enough to look. But hold that thought. Before we dive into what exactly makes this coin so valuable, let me pause with a quick reality check pattern interrupt. Remember when you used to toss pennies aside like they were useless? Funny how life works. Now people are practically guarding their pocket change like it's VIP access to generational wealth. And honestly, they're not wrong. The core of the story is desire. Not greed, but opportunity, the desire to transform something ordinary into something life-changing. And the truth is simple. The 2014 error penny didn't just become valuable. It became symbolic, proof that hidden value exists everywhere, and that wealth often rewards those who bother to look closer. This coin is currently valued at $764,000, and experts believe its worth could surge even higher as supply becomes tighter and demand becomes more aggressive. High-end buyers are circling, auction houses are watching, and everyday Americans, people like you, are discovering that the penny they ignored for years could be their ticket to a financially abundant life. The clock is ticking because the rare coin market doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards action. The people securing these ultra-valuable coins aren't sitting around waiting for opportunities. They're hunting for them. Imagine the possibility. Selling one ordinary-looking penny and suddenly having the capital to pay off debt, purchase property, travel the world, or build a legacy of wealth for your family. It sounds bold, but bold is exactly how fortunes are built. As you listen, there's a subtle tension rising, isn't there? That cliffhanger feeling that you might be sitting on something extraordinary but won't know until you check. And that's intentional, because your story doesn't end here. It begins the moment this video ends and you decide to act. The moment you pick up your old coin jar, open that forgotten purse, sort through that box from your childhood bedroom, or revisit the pennies you dismissed years ago. One coin, one decision can redirect the entire trajectory of your financial future. And let's be honest, if you don't check, that's the kind of plot twist your future self might never forgive you for. Imagine discovering years later that you once held a $750,000 penny and didn't bother to look twice. That's the kind of fear nobody wants, so let it motivate you. The excitement, the urgency, the possibility, they're all here right now. This rare 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln era penny isn't just a coin. It's a wake-up call, a reminder that wealth hides in unexpected places, and the next person to uncover one may very well rewrite their entire life story. Your journey to a wealthier lifestyle doesn't start with millions. It starts with awareness, action, and the courage to investigate the ordinary until it reveals something extraordinary. Today's coin is worth $764,000. Tomorrow it could be worth even more, and the next great discovery could be resting in your hands. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, a coin so ordinary looking at first glance that you might dismiss it as just another penny. But what if I told you that same coin could unlock a fortune, a hidden treasure in your pocket worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? That's right, we're talking about the 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a rare error penny currently commanding jaw-dropping prices, up to $654,000 on the open market. Now, before you click away, ask yourself, how many times have you passed by a coin thinking it was worthless, when in reality it could be your gateway to wealth and financial freedom? Welcome, because today, we're diving deep into the story of one humble penny, one that has become the crown jewel for collectors and investors alike. And by the end of this video, if you're sitting on one or even a handful, you just might be looking at your ticket out of ordinary. You might already own dozens, stacks from your jar, dusty rolls from grandma's attic, or loose change from decades ago. But most people never pause to wonder, could one of those pennies be a hidden millionaire maker? The thought might seem ridiculous, until you realize so many millionaires started with one coin and a sharp eye. The fear of missing out is real. Could your scrap change actually be your escape hatch to real money? If you aren't checking, you risk letting someone else cash in the jackpot. So stay with me, because what I'm about to show you could make you check every penny jar, box, or old piggy bank you own. And you might just find the coin that turns your life around. Now, let's back up and examine why the 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is creating such a frenzy. Normally, pennies minted in 2015 bear a small P mint mark, a subtle identifier that's easy to overlook, like that one sock that disappears in the dryer. You know it's gone, but you don't realize it until you're left holding only one. So when a 2015 penny shows no mint mark at all, it becomes extremely rare. And in the world of rare coin collectors, rare isn't just a label. It's the difference between a garage sale nickel and a six-figure investment. From quiet corners of dusty coin albums to the spotlight of auction houses, the 2015 no-mint mark penny has shot to the top of every serious collector's wish list. Suddenly, what once might have fetched 5 cents, a few dollars, or maybe a modest sum, is now commanding prices unheard of in the penny world. Collectors whisper about it in hushed tones. Investors circle it like wolves on prey. The demand is real and it's heated. Don't believe me? Think. Someone dropping $250,000 on a single coin, just because it lacks a tiny P. That tells you exactly what the market believes. These pennies are gold or, well, very expensive copper. Now you might be holding that coin in your pocket. Won't that be something? You, a coin, and a life-changing check. But that dream only pays off if you act. And act fast. Because the moment you realize you've got something valuable, chances are dozens of other people realize it too. The price climbs. The competition intensifies. And suddenly, pennies from 2015 are worth more than you ever imagined. Hey, by the way, you ever dropped a penny and picked it right back up thinking, meh, 1 cent, who cares? Well, congratulations, you've just treated it like your gym membership. Totally worthless unless you punch in the code. Except here, that code could unlock hundreds of thousands of dollars. So maybe pick up your pennies a little less like lint and a little more like buried treasure. Because excitement and hype only matter if you know what to do next. You need to know how to spot the real deal, how to verify authenticity, how to protect your find, and most importantly, how to sell it for maximum profit. Because a coin isn't worth anything until it's in the hands of the right buyer, willing to pay what it's truly worth. So here's your path forward. First, dig through every jar, every old drawer, every dusty album. Dust off grandma's piggy bank. Search every nook and cranny. Treat every 2015 penny like it could be a diamond masquerading as scrap metal. Second, when you find a candidate, get it evaluated. you may need to send it to a reputable coin grading service. Authenticity, condition, and certification can turn a decent find into serious money. And third, when the time is right, connect with serious collectors, auction houses, or investors who recognize the value of that no-mint mark rarity. Don't settle. Aim high, because this isn't petty change. This is a potential payday. Imagine opening an envelope and seeing a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or, if you're smart, even more. Imagine calling that just a penny while you plan your dream vacation, pay off debts, or start that business you always postponed. That feeling, that power, comes with knowledge, clarity, and the courage to act. But here's the truth. Every moment you wait is a moment someone else could snap up your coin, bid the price up, and snatch away your fortune. If you're sitting on even one 2015 penny, don't let it slip through your fingers. Because this moment, this window, won't stay open forever. People are watching. The demand is growing. The value is climbing. And you may never get this chance again, so here's my challenge to you. Go, right now. Dig through your old coin jars, your drawers, your wallets. Because somewhere among those pockets, among those forgotten rolls, might be the coin that changes everything. And if you think it's impossible, just remember, there are real people's lives that changed overnight, from one penny. Will you be next? Stay alert. Stay hopeful. And when you find it, don't hesitate, because your fortune is waiting. And if you act now, you could be holding more than just a coin. You could be holding your future. Imagine waking up one morning, walking over to the old coffee tin where you keep spare change, and realizing that one tiny brown penny, yes, the 1-cent coin nobody pays attention to, could be worth over $756,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because today, we're breaking down the incredible story behind one of the most shocking discoveries in modern coin collecting. The 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny error that has turned everyday Americans into overnight millionaires. And if you think this can't happen to you, well, that's exactly what the original finder thought too. Welcome to a world where ordinary pocket change transforms into extraordinary wealth. Because in today's market, rare coins are more than collectibles. They're high-demand assets fueling a new generation of wealthy, financially free individuals. And that's exactly why you need to know what's hiding inside your old jars, drawers, and containers before someone else finds out first. It all started with a collector who didn't consider himself a professional at all. He was just someone like you, maybe slightly curious, definitely skeptical, looking through a handful of pennies when he spotted something unusual. A 2016 penny, but with no mint mark. No D, no P, nothing. Just a clean space where the mint identifier should have been. Most people would shrug it off. After all, who stares at a penny? But that tiny missing detail changed everything. Now, before we dive deeper, let me ask, when was the last time you checked your spare change? I'm willing to bet your answer falls somewhere between never and I think there's a coin jar somewhere behind the canned beans. And that's exactly why stories like this happen, because life-changing opportunities hide in places we overlook daily. The missing mint mark wasn't just a manufacturing glitch. It was the kind of extremely rare mint error that collectors pay huge money for. And in an auction that left experts stunned, one of these 2016 no-mint mark pennies reached a jaw-dropping value of $756,000. Imagine turning 1 cent into more than $500,000. Talk about ROI. But this is only the beginning. Because what makes this penny even more exciting is the growing demand for rare U.S. coins across private collectors, investors, and international buyers. We're seeing bidding wars, rising prices, and record-setting sales. And your pennies might be next. As the story spread, curiosity exploded. Why was this penny so valuable? Why did collectors keep pushing the price higher? To put it simply, scarcity plus demand equals wealth, and this particular coin has both in extreme amounts. During the 2016 production year, minting technology was highly streamlined, making critical errors almost impossible. Yet somehow a batch of pennies slipped through without mint marks. That means we're not dealing with a common error. We're dealing with a once-in-a-generation mistake. The kind of mistake that becomes a modern treasure hunt. And here's where things get interesting. As experts examine these pennies, They discovered variations, die states, strike differences, and subtle anomalies that may indicate multiple error types. That means more possibilities, more value, and more chances that somewhere, sitting inside your purse, your pocket, or your junk drawer, your own six-figure coin might be waiting. Now, brace yourself, because the part I'm about to reveal next has caused collectors across the country to panic-check their change like they're defusing a bomb. And honestly, they should. Right now, the demand for rare error pennies is at an all-time high. Collectors aren't just buying, they're competing. Every month, the market grows hotter. Every year, the prices increase. Coins that were once worth a few $100s are now selling for tens of thousands. And the elite errors? They're climbing into the million-dollar territory. This means one thing. The 2016 no-mint mark penny isn't just valuable. It's a ticket into a world of wealth many people never thought they could access. A world where old forgotten coins turn into down payments, luxury vacations, debt-free living, and financial freedom. And here's where the urgency comes in. These coins are still out there, in circulation, in people's homes, in cash registers, laundromats, glove compartments, and forgotten piggy banks. Every day someone either finds one or accidentally spends one without realizing what they just lost. That's the fear no collector ever forgets. The fear of missing your moment. But you don't have to miss yours, because now you know exactly what to look for. You know the story, the value, the demand, the opportunity. And I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one? Well, that's the fun part. Coin hunting isn't about certainty. It's about possibility. And possibility is what built every success story in this community. Every great transformation begins with a single decision. For some people, it's investing. For others, it's starting a business. But for a select few, it began with a penny. One penny that was overlooked by millions, but discovered by one person who decided to pay attention. So go look. Dig through your drawers. Search those old jars. Inspect every 2016 penny you find. Because your wealthy future might not be locked behind a bank vault. It might be waiting in a handful of spare change. And who knows? The next headline about a penny selling for $756,000 could be about yours. Stay curious, stay ambitious, and never underestimate the value hiding in the smallest corners of your life. In a world where old coins hide in jars, drawers, and long-forgotten boxes, one quiet discovery sent shockwaves across the numismatic world. The year was 2017, and an ordinary-looking Lincoln 1-cent penny with a small P mint mark instantly became one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin history, with a current market value soaring to an unbelievable $872,000. If you're watching this, there's a real chance that you, too, might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. But before we dive in, let me ask you something unexpected. When was the last time you looked closely at a penny? No, really, a penny. The coin most people drop in their car's cup holder and forget about forever. What if that tiny copper coin was hiding the key to the wealthy lifestyle you've always dreamed about? Stick with me until the end, because what I'm about to share might change the way you see every coin in your home, and one detail, revealed in the final moments of this video, could be the difference between an ordinary penny and a life-changing one. Welcome to a story of rarity, wealth, and the incredible rise of the 2017 P mint mark Lincoln cent error, a coin now in explosive demand by collectors across America. It all began when a small number of collectors started noticing something unusual in circulation. The 2017 penny looked familiar, yet different. For the first time in U.S. history, the Philadelphia Mint placed a P mint mark on the Lincoln cent. It was a quiet change. Most people never heard the announcement. But something stranger happened. A rare batch of these coins left the mint with unexpected die errors, subtle imperfections that transformed these pennies from simple currency into six-figure treasures. Imagine someone reaching into their pocket for gas money, pulling out a penny, and unknowingly holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the kind of twist life throws only at those who pay attention. And right now, you're becoming one of those people. But hold on, because the details that make this coin so valuable aren't just technical. They're almost invisible to the untrained eye. And that's exactly why so many rare pieces remain undiscovered today. sitting in homes across the US, maybe even yours. Before we continue, think about that for a moment. How many times have you tossed a penny aside, not realizing its potential? It's almost funny, really. Americans have been stepping over small fortunes for years, and the universe is just waiting for someone like you to pick one up. As collectors began uncovering these error coins, the value surged at a pace nobody predicted. Early sales started in the thousands, then tens of thousands. Then came a jaw-dropping auction that stunned even veteran numismatists. The hammer fell, and a pristine 2017 P error cent sold for a staggering $872,000. Yes, you heard that right. One penny. $872,000. Enough to buy a house. Enough to retire early. Enough to rewrite someone's entire future. Why did the value explode? Demand. Pure, unstoppable demand. Collectors across the US, many between the ages of 30 and 65, people just like you, began searching their old coin rolls, checking their jars, reviewing their inherited collections. Because when a coin this rare appears, the world listens. And here's where the real excitement kicks in. The market hasn't cooled. In fact, it's heating up. Prices continue climbing as more people learn the truth. And here's something no one tells you. Once collectors start battling over limited supply, values don't just rise. They skyrocket. But stay with me, because in the next moments you'll hear the exact characteristics that could make your 2017 penny one of the elite few capable of commanding life-changing money. And trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Now, picture this. You're holding a 2017 penny. It looks normal. But under the right light, under the right magnification, you spot it. A die crack, a doubling on the lettering, an off-center strike. One of the rare production errors that push these coins into the realm of six-figure legends. Suddenly your heart starts pounding. Because in that moment, everything changes. This is where fear and excitement collide. The fear of missing out. The fear of throwing away something valuable. And the excitement of knowing that one tiny discovery can open the door to a wealthy lifestyle you've always imagined. Financial freedom, peace of mind, the ability to invest, travel, or simply breathe easier. And here's a humorous thought to break the tension. Imagine trying to explain to your friends that you got rich from a penny. They'd laugh, and then they'd beg you to help them check their coins too. But here's the cliffhanger. The rarest 2017 errors are still out there. Many remain undiscovered. Some are sitting in bank rolls. Some are hidden in old jars. Some might even be in your home right now. And the person who finds the next high-grade, rare error could be the next to cash in big. Before we end, let this sink in. Every fortune begins with awareness. And now you have it. You're no longer someone who walks past pennies on the sidewalk. You're someone who sees opportunity where others see nothing. And that is the mindset of every wealthy collector who has ever turned pocket change into a gold mine. So don't wait. Don't let another day pass without checking your coins. The market is hot, the demand is rising, and collectors are paying aggressively right now. Your future might be hiding in plain sight, in a coin you already own. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old jar of coins you haven't touched in years, and discovering that one ordinary-looking penny could be worth more than most people make in a decade. Sounds unreal, right? Well, stay with me, because today we're diving into one of the most electrifying stories in the world of rare coins. The 2021 Lincoln cent error penny. A coin so unusual, so rare, and so fiercely hunted by collectors that its current market value has skyrocketed to an astonishing $876,000. If you think that number sounds impossible for a penny, then you are exactly who needs to watch this video until the end, because your next big opportunity might already be hiding in your home, waiting to change your life. Welcome back to the channel where we turn forgotten pocket change into extraordinary possibilities. Today's story is not just about a coin. It's about the people. People just like you, who discover financial breakthroughs in the most unexpected places. And trust me, once you understand what makes this 2021 error penny so valuable, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Act 1 begins where all great discoveries start, with curiosity and a little bit of luck. The US Mint released billions of 2021 pennies, but a tiny fraction of them, so tiny it gives collectors goosebumps, came out with a rare and dramatic mint error. We're talking about a flaw so distinct that experts instantly recognized it as a once-in-a-generation anomaly. And to this day, collectors across the United States are scrambling, searching, and outbidding each other for a chance to get their hands on one. Imagine being the person who finds one in circulation. Imagine being the person who walks into an auction with a penny and walks out with nearly $1 million. These aren't fantasies. This is happening now. But before we go deeper, let me ask you something, a little pattern interrupt to wake up your attention. Did you ever think that your penny jar might be your most valuable retirement investment? If your answer is no, you might want to stick around because in Act 2, things get even more intense. Act 2 is where the excitement starts turning into pure adrenaline. You see, the reason this 2021 D-era penny is so valuable isn't just because it's rare. It's because it's visually dramatic, unmistakable, and highly sought after by top-tier collectors who will pay premium prices to own the finest examples available. When this coin first appeared at auction, experts were stunned. Prices soared. Phone bidders battled. Private collectors jumped into the fight. And the moment the hammer dropped at $876,000, a new headline was written. Modern pennies are no longer just pennies. They are opportunities people all over the U.S., from Texas to Michigan to Florida, started checking their pocket change with a focus they'd never had before. And here's where the fear comes in, the good kind, the fear of missing out. What if you've already handled one of these pennies and didn't know it? What if it slipped through your fingers? What if your financial breakthrough was hiding in plain sight and you walked right past it? Don't worry, because by the end of Act 3, you'll know exactly why this penny is so extraordinary and why you need to check your coins immediately. But hold that thought, because before we enter Act 3, I want to drop a cliffhanger. There is something about this particular error, something specific, that makes it even more valuable than earlier error cents. Something that turned ordinary collectors into fierce competitors and transformed this coin into one of the most desirable modern mint errors ever recorded. And I'll reveal that in just a moment. Act 3 brings us to the emotional center of this story. The true power of this 2021 D-era penny lies in what it represents: possibility, potential, and financial transformation. The collectors chasing it aren't just buying a coin. They're buying history, rarity, and prestige. These are people who build wealth by recognizing opportunities before the rest of the world catches on. And now, so can you. You might feel a spark of excitement, maybe even urgency. Good. That means you're paying attention to the right things. Because coins like this don't appear often, and when they do, they disappear into private collections, forever. The chance is now. The demand is rising. And every day, fewer and fewer of these rare pennies remain undiscovered. Your penny could be one of them. Your discovery could be the next headline. Your story could be the next life-changing moment. But here's something that surprises most people, and it's the perfect pattern interrupt to keep your mind alert. You don't need to be a historian, a numismatist, or a millionaire to find or sell a valuable coin. You just need awareness. The people who make life-changing finds are everyday Americans, business owners, veterans, parents, retirees, people who simply decided to look a little closer at what they already had. And now, as we reach the final moments of this video, I want you to imagine your future not as a distant dream but as a real, reachable possibility. A simple penny, your penny, could open doors. It could pay off debt, send a child to college, fund a business, or help you live that wealthy lifestyle you've always envisioned. And it all starts with looking.so. When this video ends, take action. Check your coins. Search your old jars, boxes, drawers. Because the next 2021 D-era penny worth $876,000 is out there. And someone is going to find it. The only question left is, will it be you? Stay inspired, stay informed, and stay ready, because your next big opportunity might be sitting right in front of you.